excitement in the air. I'm now joined by sports anchor Buhlema Dulini to preview today's PSL season opener between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. That match is set to kick off in the next 15 minutes. Buhle, thank you so much. Excitement in the studio, I'm sure excitement in the air. The season opener with Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns as an opener doesn't get better than that for fans. Tell us what to expect.
Yeah, look, Nati definitely doesn't get better than this. There's two teams, plenty of changes. Personnel, especially playing personnel on the one team, which is Sundowns, and then obviously Kaizer Chiefs, there's that major change right at the top. But I think it's going to be quite a baptism of fire for Kaizer Chiefs, and fans can most certainly expect a game, I think, that's going to be a bit stop and start, a bit sticky at the beginning. The teams trying to feel each other out. But nonetheless, I mean, it is the two biggest clubs in South Africa, and they are definitely going to be bringing the heat today. It's one of three opening matches actually that's taking place. We've got Bloemfontein Celtic and Golden Arrows as well, and then we'll see Baroka and Maritzburg United. But no doubt, that is the round of the match. Absolutely.
I mean, you say Kaizer Chiefs is going to be, what, baptism of fire? And other people will say, what, Gavin Hunt? No. Against the trio coaches? Maybe. Why do you say that?
Yeah, look, absolutely. It's going to be a baptism of fire for Gavin Hunt against the three Musketeers. Simply because it's a Kaizer Chiefs squad that he's had to inherit. He hasn't been able to make much changes. He's had to work with what he has. And maybe, you know, we'll start seeing as time progresses that he'll start pulling players from the development side as well, from, you know, the juniors. But it's going to be very difficult. I mean, we must understand this. As much as Sundowns are in a rebuilding phase, they've signed 10 players. Sure, we get it. But they're signing 10 players because they want to continue, you know, competing at the highest level across the continent, not just in South Africa. So clearly, it is going to be very hard, a lot tougher for Gavin Hunt. Sundowns, the two coaches that the two of the three coaches, Mangoba Mngwiti, as well as his name escapes me now. Rulani Mukwena. They've been there. They know what Pitso Mosimane does. They know what he wants to do, and they know the kind of play that Sundowns is familiar with. However, you have a third coach who is a Steve Kompela, but I mean, it's Kompela. He's very experienced. He knows what he's doing. So it's going to be a very difficult one. Actually, I've got, as you had mentioned, Benjamin is out on the field. He's at Naturena at the moment, and we're going to go to him right now, just for us to give us a little bit of a sense as to what is happening at the Kaizer Chiefs village. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Newsfeed. How is it looking at Naturena at the moment?
Good evening, Bushe. Good evening to all of our viewers. Well, Naturena is abuzz today, as would be expected. We are in extension 19 in Naturena at Sam's place, and people are already starting to gather here behind me, the fans that are going to watch football. I'll show you a little bit later on. They've got a big screen set up to watch this game. That shows you how serious it is, this game here in Naturena, for one simple reason. This is the home of Kaizer Chiefs. The village to my right is about a stone's throw, and the venue for the game, the FNB Stadium, is about 5 minutes drive from where I am right now. So the fans, although they can't go to the stadium, it's still palpable for them in this dawn of a new era day. The league has got a new name. There is a new sheriff in town, if I can put it like that, in charge of Kaizer Chiefs, and also for Mamelodi Sundowns. But Kaizer Chiefs fans just last month faced Mamelodi Sundowns, and you could argue that this is the one team that hurt them more than any other team last season. In the very last 30 minutes of the season, they lost the league to Mamelodi Sundowns. So it's going to be very crucial for Gavin Hunt. There's two things here, two sides of one coin. Either it's coming too soon for him. He's got, he doesn't have his ducks in a row yet. There's that transfer ban hanging over their collective head at Kaizer Chiefs, and he can't bring in any new players. Or, on the other hand, it comes just soon enough for him to endear himself to the Kaizer Chiefs fans. I mean, if he gets this one right here against Mamelodi Sundowns, we can tell you what, the Kaizer Chiefs fans can forgive him for a lot of things that he can do over this season. So we'll be watching it with a lot of them here at Sam's Place in Naturena, extension 19, and we'll tell you as the afternoon goes how they're feeling. It's going to be emotional, but Kevin Hunt will do well to beat Mamelodi Sundowns today, and we'll hear from some of those fans a little bit later.
Now, Ben, you speak about the fact that Gavin Hunt will be looking to endear himself to the Kaizer Chiefs faithful if he does well against Mamelodi Sundowns today. What are the expectations from the fans at the moment? I mean, you've mentioned, you've painted a very pretty picture for us, taking all of that into consideration.
Expectations from the fans of Kaizer Chiefs are always going to be the same. Win. You need to win every single game that you play. As a Kaizer Chiefs coach, Kevin Hunt would have known this coming to Kaizer Chiefs. Finishing second is not an achievement. They spent the entire season on top of the log last season. I think more than a year they were on top of the log, but they lost it on the last day. Only one day they were second on the log, and Kaizer Chiefs fans have not forgotten that. They're still hurt by that, so they will want to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. Their first expectation here is to beat Mamelodi Sundowns, and Gavin will be happy that he's got Castro in his starting lineup. He wasn't there in the starting lineup last week. He's got Manyama back, crucially. One of his star players last season, Katsande, will be crucial to that heart of midfield in this game. And also Sundowns, Kermit Erasmus will potentially inflict some pain on those Kaizer Chiefs fans. And Gavin Hunt will know what can happen to a coach if Kaizer Chiefs fans are not happy. But I do feel that even if they don't win here today, he might be forgiven, particularly for the reasons I mentioned earlier, that they can't bring in any new players. He's got to mostly depend on a squad that he inherited, and also try and blend in the youngsters from the development side. So it's going to be interesting how he works his way around this one, but one gets the feeling that he's going to have to work with what he's got, and expectations, crucially, must be managed from the side of the top brass of Kaizer Chiefs. They must make sure that their fans' expectations are managed because of the situation they find themselves in.
Exactly, because of that situation, Benjamin, we've seen Kaizer Chiefs come out. They made a stuttering start to the season in the MTN 8. Sussman 2 goals in a space of just a matter of minutes, and they managed to pull it through. Mamelodi Sundowns as well made a stuttering start to their MTN 8 campaign. They actually went on to lose that game against Bloemfontein Celtic. Now, that management of that expectation that needs to be done by the Sundowns the Kaizer Chiefs top brass, is there a chance that you feel that they might say, listen, Hunt, you've had it tough, you can't buy, and this is this team that you have inherited, we will give you some time? You say Kaizer Chiefs fans are ruthless, then they do not take any losses very well, but will they at least be able to just give him some time if he doesn't find his feet as quick as they would like him to?
Kevin Hunt has signed a contract for 3 years at Kaizer Chiefs, and it's always important for a coach, a new coach coming in, to be given that time to instill his own philosophy within a team. And one thing that they know, both the management at Kaizer Chiefs and the fans, is that Kevin Hunt knows how to win league titles. He's got 4 of them under his belt. It wasn't a mistake. He knows how to win trophies. So time will be crucial. He does need time. I don't think they expect him to come in and win the league in his first season. He's got a difficult situation to deal with, but even if he didn't, it would not have made sense for them to expect him to do it in his first season. If he does, well, good and well for them. But if he doesn't, I don't think it's a train smash. I think Gavin, by his credentials alone, deserves to go the entire 3 seasons that he signed for at Kaizer Chiefs. If he extends he extends. If he has failed after 3 years, then they can say, okay, we gave you enough time, your contract has lapsed and we're not renewing. But I don't think Kaizer Chiefs fans would be that naive to think he can come in and fix it right now. At the end of the 3 years, then that's the time to judge Gavin Hunt. And Kaizer Chiefs is a very lenient team, judging by their history when it comes to coaches. I think Kaizer Motaung and the entire Motaung family, actually, and management will be very patient with Gavin Hunt, knowing his history, his credentials. He knows how to win league titles, and I've got no doubt that he can turn Kaizer Chiefs or return them to their perch, so to speak.
Before I let you go, Benjamin, very quickly, and what about the three musketeers at Mamelodi Sundowns? For them, Sundowns serial winners, we all know this. Will they be able to, first of all, emulate Pitso Mosimane's wonderful history that he's left at the club? And second of all, will they get time if they aren't able to do so in the first season?
Bushe, what's happening at Mamelodi Sundowns is very strange. It's a strange situation. You've got two co-head coaches and you've got a senior coach who is not an assistant coach but reports to the co-head coaches. It's something that sounds Steve Compella-esque, and he is part of that technical team at Mamelodi Sundowns. They just acquired his services. He'll be doing it along with Rulana Mokwena and Mangoba Mngeti. I don't know if they can continue from where Pitso Mosimane left off. It's going to be difficult. One thing about Pitso is that he had presence, he had aura, the sort of like Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm not comparing Pitso to Sir Alex, but he had aura on days when he's got no right to beat a certain team. When his team is not playing as well as they can, you'd find that they win simply because he's got aura. When a player looks at the bench and sees that there's Pitso Mosimane, he's able to lift up his game. I'm not sure that it's going to be the same, and there's already rumors of cliques being formed at Mamelodi Sundowns. It was always going to happen with different coaches, different ideas, and one wonders if there's rumors of them sort of circumcising their squad. They feel that it's a lot of players that they have to deal with. Where were they when Pitso Mosimane was signing all these players? Because Mangoba and Rulani were there with Pitso Mosimane. So it's going to be very interesting who is let go by these three coaches at Mamelodi Sundowns. They call them Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. We'll see how they do it in the season that comes.
Now, Benji, I know that we said that was the last question, but before we let you go, obviously some safety concerns around today's match. The PSL, after COVID-19, while the hard lockdown at least, is no longer playing within a bubble. What's likely to happen there?
I spoke, Tavi, to the PSL senior manager, Luxolo September, on Thursday, in fact. And I asked him, is there a plan? Because there's talk of a second wave of COVID-19 possibly on the horizon. And I put it to him and asked, what's the plan should things go down south? He simply said that, well, there is no bubble for now, but the PSL, like before, they were not expected to deal with everything so smoothly, and they will be able to do it again. The one thing that they trust right now is that the fans are not allowed yet into the stadiums, so they can at least manage that, because there's a general feeling that it would be it would be chaos if fans were allowed to come into the stadium. They would not be able to manage where who sits and all of that. But it's still a concern because players are still going home to their families and coming in together to meet. One thing that is strange that players do is that on the bench they sit one seat in between him and the other player, and there's social distancing in the buses when they come to the stadium. They use sanitizer, and also in the dressing rooms we've seen. But it's the strangest thing, when they do score a goal, they go to the corner flag and huddle up, and I really don't get the thinking behind that. But it's something that perhaps has to be dealt with by the league. Maybe have some more stringent rules that have to deal with that, because truth be told, we're not by any stretch of imagination out of the woods yet.
All right, Benji, thank you so much for that analysis. Benjamin Leshoro out in Naturena there for us as we anticipate a total showdown between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns today as the season opens. Thank you so much to you too, Buhle Matulini, for your analysis and unpacking what's likely to happen. We'll obviously have you back in studio in a little bit.